brothers and sisters, today we are going to discuss a question that often arises. Is the earth stationary according to the Quran? Some people say the Quran describes a motionless earth, while others claim it supports modern astronomy. So, what does the Quran really say? Let's explore this carefully and logically, both from the Quran and from science. First, it's important to understand that the Quran is not a science book. It is a book of guidance. Yet, every verse that touches upon creation is perfectly in harmony with scientific truth. Now, some verses describe the earth as stable and spread out. For example, Surah An-Naml, verse 61. Is he not the one who made the earth a stable ground and placed within it rivers and mountains? Another verse, Surah An-Naziyat, verse 30, says, and after that, he spread out dawned the earth. Here, the Arabic word damp is very interesting. It comes from da, which means to spread out. But classical scholars also linked it to daja, meaning an egg. This is remarkable because the earth is not a perfect sphere. It is slightly oval, like an egg. So the Quran actually used an accurate word for the earth's real shape over 1,400 years ago. Now, some people misunderstood these verses and said, see, the Quran says the earth is fixed or stationary, but that's not what these verses mean. When Allah says the earth is stable, He is talking about stability for human life, that it is a balanced planet with gravity, atmosphere, and mountains that prevent major instability. It does not mean the earth is motionless in space. In fact, the Quran does mention motion of celestial bodies, including the earth, indirectly. In Surah Yasin, verses 38-40, Allah says, the sun runs on its fixed course, the moon follows its path, and each one is swimming in an orbit. The Arabic words kulun, faifala, kin, yazba, wun, mean. Each of them is floating in an orbit. This shows that everything in the universe, the sun, the moon, and yes, even the earth, are all moving in a divine system. This perfectly matches modern scientific understanding that the earth rotates on its axis and revolves around the sun. Science tells us that the earth spins at about 1,670 kilometers per hour at the equator, and it orbits around the sun at 107,000 kilometers per hour. Yet, we do not feel this motion because Allah has made it perfectly balanced and smooth, a testimony to His power and wisdom. So, when the Quran calls the earth stable, it means stable for life, not stationary in the universe. Before going to conclusion, kindly subscribe the channel to support us. Therefore, brothers and sisters, the Quran does not say the earth is stationary. It says Allah made it a stable, balanced, and habitable planet, while every celestial body moves according to His command. Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 33. It is He who created the night and the day, the sun and the moon. Each is swimming in an orbit. This verse beautifully captures the harmony of the universe, a system in motion, guided by Allah's will. So when we read the Quran, we see no conflict between divine revelation and modern science. Rather, the Quran was centuries ahead in describing a universe full of motion, balance, and perfection. May Allah grant us wisdom to understand His words with depth and reflection. And may our faith grow stronger as science continues to uncover the signs that Allah has already mentioned in His book. Once again, reminding you to subscribe, like, and share. Thanks for watching.